Hail, heroes! In this video, we'll be exploring the trap deck. So Cormac has 2 rounds to get through the corridor of death and out through this door. So we'll be generating his actions for the round. Cormac has 3 interacts, 1 combat, a class and an enemy. There are no enemies in the game, so we'll play that out as Cormac has entered the dungeon here. As he comes into the tile, he's going to be making a fate roll on the table, and there's a lot more traps than usual because this is the corridor of death. However, Cormac has been exceptionally blessed and he has rolled 2 treasure chests as he gets 2 class results. There's already a trap here and he needs to interact with this lever to open this portcullis. So, in order to show you how deadly some of these traps can be, we're going to ignore this trap instead of spending an interact to search for it, and we're just going to pull this lever to get this door open. That means that this trap is triggered. Let's see what happens. It's a falling block trap. So, we're going to place the rubble token in the zone. And Cormac is then going to have to perform a test 3. A test 3 means that he will be rolling a hand of dice and needs 3 successes. He's got them. He manages to avoid being crushed by the falling block trap that otherwise would have inflicted 3 damage to his health. The zone now takes 2 actions to move out of instead of 1, or costs 2 actions to move out of instead of 1. And I'm very tempted for Cormac to explore some of the treasure chests, so we're going to smash one of those with a combat. He didn't get through the chest, which is unfortunate. We're going to try and prise open one of the other ones with a picklock attempt. He's unsuccessful there as well. Giving up on that, Cormac's going to move forward into the next zone, and he's going to make his fate roll. In here, he's actually got 2 traps. We're going to re-roll this one. It's still 2 traps because, as I said, the frequency of traps is greatly increased. That's why it's the corridor of death, and it is the purpose of this video. He's now got 3 traps in here. So, if Cormac then performed an interact, he could find these traps and be safe from them. However, if he didn't, and he began to perform other actions, he would trigger a trap each time he declared an action and suffer the consequences. He would only then continue the action if he has to survive the trap. However, in this situation, it's clearly best for him to interact and see if he can find these traps. These traps on this tile are difficulty 3. Cormac has failed to find the traps and thus has triggered the first of them in his attempt. He's triggered a poison gas trap. This is by far one of the most complex traps in the game. It means you're going to be putting in the poison gas cloud and you're going to set a dial on it to 6. Now that dice on a 6 is going to dial down, being reduced in each upkeep until it's finally removed when it's reduced from 1 to 0. Until then, there's a poison gas cloud in that zone and everybody moving through it is going to take poison. This dice on the left is going to track Cormac's poison and it's already set to 1, almost as if I knew. Now, at the end of the round, Cormac's going to take damage from that poison, which will be from his health, though sometimes poison might affect another attribute. Sometimes it will affect will, because some poisons mess with the mind. Now, Cormac has got 1 interact left, and we're going to spend it searching for these other traps in the hopes that he doesn't trigger any more. He has failed to find them, and as a result, he's triggered one, but this one is a dud. So, Cormac was quite lucky there. It's now the end of the round, so we're going to dial this down to a 5. Cormac's going to take 1 damage from the poison. He's still in the zone, so this dials up to 2 rather than being removed if Cormac had left that tile. Now, there's still an active trap in the zone, and Cormac now has just 1 round to escape. It could be a bit of an ask, but that's why they call it the corridor of death. Now, Cormac's got 2 combats, he's got 2 interacts, he's got a class, and he's got an enemy result. We're going to clear the enemy result. There are no enemies in play, so that's fine. And rather than search for that trap, Cormac's going to leg it out of the zone using the class action that he has here. So he runs through, but in so doing, he's going to trigger this trap here, and we'll find out what it is. It's a dart trap. So The dart trap is triggered and he will be rolling 3 dice. Now, if there were more heroes in this particular tile, they would all be getting fired at. But we'll just fire the 3 dice at Cormac. We'll use the enemy dice for this. And all of those are misses. However, if any of these had been combats, he would have taken damage. And because he would take damage, this enemy symbol would inflict a further poison 2 on Cormac. And that would be bringing him perilously close to the twilight by the end of the round. However, he's managed to take the darts. They've missed him as he's run through, as he's darted through into the tomb. Now he's reached the tomb. We do a fate roll for the tomb. And that's a treasure chest and a trap. We're going to re-roll the trap on the hope that we don't get another one. We do. But again, the frequency of traps has been greatly increased. Now, there's not much room to maneuver here, so Cormac is going to immediately interact with this door to open it. It's a double door, so it took the interact in this scenario to open it. Some doors can be opened with any action. In opening the door, he has triggered a trap because he didn't search for that, and it's another falling block trap. So, we have to put the rubble token in. Oh, I don't know if I spent the extra action back there because I'm going so quickly. But anyway, so Cormac then has to do the test to see whether he can avoid the falling block trap, which is done on a hand of dice, and he needs 3 successes. Once again, Cormac has managed to evade the falling blocks and therefore is still alive. He can now try to escape, which we will do. In fact, I think Cormac's going to smash that chest open before he tries to escape because he's thinking he's going to get through this. And he has smashed open the chest, and we'll see what reward he gets. He's found an item of equipment. Let's see what he's got. Cormac has found quilted cloth, which will give him 1 in defense, and it has 3 durability. So that's a nice piece of armor there for Cormac to wear. So, as Cormac did that, he will have triggered this other trap, and we will find out what happened to that trap. It's a spiked pit. Ooh. So, with Cormac potentially falling into a pit trap, perhaps he doesn't get this treasure after all. I did that slightly too soon, I think. Might have gotten carried away again. So, we place the pit trap in, and we'll see if Cormac's fallen into it. He needs 3 successes to have jumped across the pit trap as he ran into the chamber. And he's got them. So he landed there, and he would have successfully got the quilted cloth out of the treasure chest, so we don't need to retcon any of that nonsense. So Cormac can now escape from the corridor of death. So perhaps traps aren't so lethal. Or that would have cost both of his actions. So actually he just got out because of the rubble. So at the end of that, he would take another 2 damage from the poison, which would then dial down to 1. And then the following round, he would take another point of damage from the poison, and it would be removed, whilst this would be dialing down. But by then, Cormac's long gone, and he's on another level of the dungeon, having escaped. But now you've seen quite a number of the traps, and you can see that, in fact, the damage can pile up quite quickly from them. Thanks very much. Do excuse the speed of the video. It's getting rather late here at Triskelion Towers. Anyway, we hope you've enjoyed your time with us, and we hope that you look forward to future videos in this series. Thanks very much. Bye now.